welcome to Kima's Never Seen It. I'm Kima, and because it's May, we're actually going to be focusing on some sci-fi movies, and today we are going to start with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Disclaimer, I've seen one Star Wars movie, and it was a newer one years ago, and I saw it in the theater with some friends, and I fell asleep. So, don't know much about Star Wars. I know about lightsabers and Darth Vader in them, but I don't know much. So let's go ahead and get into what this movie's about based on the DVD cover summary. The Jedi Knights have been exterminated, and the Empire rules the galaxy with an iron fist. A small group of rebels have dared to fight back by stealing the secret plans to the Empire's mightiest weapon, the Death Star battle station. The Emperor's most trusted servant, Darth Vader, must find the plans and locate the hidden rebel base. Princess Leia, a captive rebel leader, sends out a distress signal that is intercepted by a simple farm boy, Luke Skywalker. Seizing his destiny, Luke takes up the challenge to rescue the princess and help the rebellion overthrow the Empire, along with such unforgettable allies as the wise Obi-Wan Kenobi, the cocky Han Solo, the jovial Chewbacca, and the droids R2-D2 and C-3PO. To start off with the movie, I just want to say people go crazy for the intro. When the name Star Wars pops up and that music starts playing, people go crazy for that. Star Wars has a huge fandom that I'm aware of, but I don't think I could ever fathom it. It's crazy. But we start off with two ships fighting. In one of the ships, we're introduced to R2-D2 and C-3PO. If I say C-3PO's name wrong, it's because there's something wrong with my brain and I'm mixing up letters, but I'm gonna try. We're introduced to those two droids, and there are stormtroopers who are trying to intrude and invade their spacecraft for some reason. Now, R2-D2 and C-3PO are kind of trying to hide, so they're kind of going through different doors and walking through different halls, just hiding that way they're not captured by any of the stormtroopers or anyone else. And while they're doing that, in walks our boy, Darth Vader. Again, I know who Darth Vader is. I feel like when it comes to Star Wars, there are a couple main characters that everybody knows, even if you've never seen the movie. So I got that one. While the droids are hiding, C-3PO is looking for R2-D2 because he's not right next to him. And he looks over, and we're introduced to Princess Leia, who is doing something to R2-D2, like bending down, like pressing on him or something, and not too sure what's going on. But then R2-D2 goes back to C-3PO. Whatever Princess Leia gave R2 gives him some kind of direction to go in like this way instead of this way and follow C-3PO. And C-3PO doesn't know what's going on, so he's just like, "What are you doing? And also R2 is talking about some like mission. And he's just like, "What are you talking about?" So while Darth Vader is on the ship, he's talking about some kind of plans. He's looking for some plans that are in the ship, but he can't find them. In the process of looking for plans, the stormtroopers find Princess Leia. She shoots one of them and tries to run away. It looks like she's a good shot, so I don't know why she didn't try to shoot all the other ones, but I digress. And they capture her to give her to Darth Vader. While that's happening, R2 and C3 are gonna take a shuttle, a little space shuttle thing, right, out from the ship and go away. That way they can avoid all this stuff that's happening on the ship. So on the ship, it turns out that there are rebel spies, and that are of course against Darth Vader because they're part of the Empire, right? Yes. And he's like, Leia, I don't know. They said it different ways. Where are the plans? We know you have the plans. We're looking for the plans, but she's not going to give them up. So they kind of put her and kept her captive. So outside of the ship, we're back with the droids, and from the shuttle, they land on this planet. It's just like, I don't know. It's just a lot of sand. There's just sand everywhere. There's not like anything else that they can see. And again, R2 keeps going on and on about this mission, and C3 doesn't even know what he's talking about. So R2's just like, "No, we should go this way. Like, this is what we should do." C3PO has an attitude, and he's just like, "I'm not going to follow you. You don't follow me. And don't be mad when you're wrong. And it turns out that I'm right. Don't follow me." He has an attitude. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I've had enough of you. Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
But they both go in separate directions, which honestly didn't matter because they both ended up getting caught. So regardless if one followed the other or they went their separate ways, they were both going to get captured. So C-3PO, watch your mouth. After the droids get captured, the stormtroopers end up at the same planet because they tracked the shuttle. At first, they didn't think there were any life forms on the shuttle, which I guess isn't wrong because they're droids. So I guess that's not wrong. But then once they get to the planet, they're just like, no, there was something on the shuttle. We have to go find it because maybe it has the plans that we're looking for. So that's just a smaller scene. And then there's these creatures that have the droids and other droids too. There's like a bunch of droids on this like truck thing, and it looks like they're responsible for like selling them. And that's when we're introduced to Luke Skywalker. So Luke and his uncle are looking at all the droids and figure out which ones that they want to buy. They end up buying C-3PO, and they end up buying another red droid that just breaks down right there. So then they're just like, oh no, we'll take that other one, the blue one, R2D2. And that's good because then C3 and R2 can stay together. And then once they buy them, Luke takes them inside so that he can clean them and wash them off. And then they notice that R2D2 blasts this video of some kind. So R2D2 shows a snip of a video. It's Princess Leia, and it's only the very end of the video, and she's saying, Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, you're our only hope, please help us, blah, 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 blah. Luke likes what he sees. He's paying attention to what she's saying, but he likes what he sees in Princess Leia.
Who is she? She's beautiful.
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Unfortunately, he can't get the rest of the message. They just can't figure it out with R2. So Luke goes with his aunt and uncle for dinner, and he brings up the message, and it's just like, do you know who Obi-Wan or Ben Kenobi is? Do you know who that is? His uncle says, oh no, like, I used to know who that is, but he's dead and gone. He's gone. And Luke is just like, oh, well, it sounds like that, you know, this droid was looking for him and it needs some help. But his uncle is trying to discourage him from trying to fight any battles, from trying to look more into it. Doesn't matter, because the next morning, Luke is already gone. Him and C-3PO go out to look for R2-D2, because in the middle of the night, R2-D2 left. Again, because of whatever Princess Leia did to him, he is like programmed to, I guess, follow the direction of the mission. And I think that's why he left. So they went out to go find him. They end up finding him, but then they get attacked. So they get attacked by some sand people. They beat up Luke. I don't think they beat up C-3PO. I think C-3PO just fell backwards and then just like kind of knocked himself out. And R2-D2 is in the background, like hiding. While the sand people are ransacking the ship, trying to see what's in there, trying to get what they can find, they hear this loud noise, and there's this figure in the distance that's over there that causes them to run. The figure comes up to Luke, and he takes off his hood, and it turns out to be some man. And it's just like, it's okay, tells R2-D2 to come out, and wakes up Luke. When he wakes up Luke, Luke is saying, oh, I have a message from this droid who's looking for his master or owner or whatever. Do you know someone named Obi-Wan Kenobi? And turns out that man is Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's just like, I'm not dead. I'm very much alive, but, you know, that's me.
Oh, he's not dead. Not yet.
You know him?
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
Obi-Wan says that he fought alongside of Luke's father during the Clone Wars, which is that a movie or is it just a TV show? I've heard of Clone Wars before. I just don't know what it is. But they fought alongside together. Darth Vader ended up killing Luke's father. And before that happened, Luke's father gave Obi-Wan a lightsaber and said, give this to my son when he's old enough. So now Luke has his father's old lightsaber. Love that. While they're in that room, they finally see the full message from Princess Leia. And she's, talking about how the Empire, right? Is that right? Has infiltrated. They're trying to get the plans. Obi-Wan, we need your help. Please save us. Da-da-da-da-da. And then Obi is just like, Luke, we have to go to Alderaan. I'm gonna teach you the Force. We're gonna figure this out and we're gonna fight. But Luke is scared. Like the description said, Luke is just a farm boy. So he's just like, there's no way that I can help. I have stuff to do back at home. Like, I can't do this. I'm sorry. But, Obi really tries to convince him and be like, I can teach you the ways. You can do it. You can follow in your father's footsteps. This is your uncle talking, making you seem like you should be afraid, but you're not. You're the son of a Jedi. So while that's going on, we're going to go back to the ship with Darth Vader in them. So they're having a meeting and they're trying to find the secret plans. And they're trying to figure out, were the secret plans on that shuttle that went out? We have Princess Leia. We can try to get it out of her. And they're trying to just figure it out. One of the people tries to get smart with Darth Vader, and he's trying to like talk back to him. Darth Vader took his hand and did the little chokey thing and said, who you talking to? Which I know that's right, because they're just trying to be like, oh, the Force ain't nothing. The Force ain't even real. I don't care what you practice. He said, oh, really? Choked him out. Who you talking to? You ain't talking to me like that. So in that little sliver of instance, I was on Darth Vader's side, because who are you talking to? But all in all, with these plans, they're just looking to get rid of and completely destroy the rebellion. So once they're able to find these plans, they're able to get rid of them completely. And that's scary. So Obi and Luke, we're going back to them real quick. They come out of that underground space of wherever they were, and they notice there's all these footprints everywhere. And Obi's just like, you think it's the Sand People, but it's not. These are precise steps. You know, everything is calculated. This has to be stormtroopers. They're here to find the droids probably and get something back. Now, Luke, the wheels are turning, and he's just like, well, if the stormtroopers are here, they're going to destroy and get rid of anything they can that's in their path until they get what they want. So he rushes back home, but he's too late. His aunt and uncle, they ended up dying. And then Luke comes back and he's just like, well, since I have nothing left here, I'll go with you to Alderaan, I guess. So on their way to Alderaan, they stop by a spaceport at Mos Eisley or something like that. And they're kind of like checked by some stormtroopers who are just like, where's your ID? Who are you? Da 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 da. But Obi knows how to use the Force, and he uses it for kind of like mind control, like hypnotizing, and ends up like mind controlling his way out of them being checked for anything. Which again, it's interesting because it makes me feel like the Force can kind of be used for anything. So I wonder, like, if Darth Vader can use the Force for like choking people out, and Obi-Wan can use the Force to like hypnotize people, it makes me wonder what limits the Force has. So then in Mos Eisley, sorry if I'm saying all of this wrong, I genuinely apologize, but they go to this seemingly bar place, the cantina, that's what it's called. They go to the cantina. The only reason why I know that is because I have played the score music for the cantina before. But they go there, and that's where we're introduced to Chewbacca, which is me. Kima, Jay, that's Chewbacca.
We don't serve their kind here.
Kima,
What?
Jay,
You're
that's
droid.
Chewbacca. Without ever watching Star Wars, I think the reason why I said that I resemble Chewbacca is because I am very hairy. I am 7'12", and the noises that he makes, yeah, sometimes when you gotta stretch, I make those same noises too. So like me and Chewbacca are like this. But Obi talks to Chewbacca and is basically trying to get him to help so that he can be a pilot for them in the fight against the Empire. Then we meet Han Solo, which I think Han Solo and Chewbacca are together. So they're kind of like a package deal. And they also want him to be a pilot as well. Now, Han tells them about the Millennium Falcon, which I've seen at Disneyland. I've seen the Millennium Falcon. Guys, I've seen the Millennium Falcon at Disneyland. Pretty cool ship.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
And they said that they will pay Han 17,000 whatever their money is so that he can help them. Hans is okay with that because turns out Hans is in debt. He owes Jabba the Hutt, which I know who that is, at least kind of what it looks like because of Family Guy. Oh, kind of what that is. So he's just like, yeah, I'll help you then. Why not? Again, he owes Jabba some money, but he meets with Jabba and is just like, listen, I'm about to do this big deal. I'm about to get all this money. And once this mission is done, I will get you your money. And Jabba's just like, okay, I trust you. I don't do this for everybody, but for you, okay. And a small little trip back to the ship. So Darth Vader and the stormtroopers are trying to get information out of Princess Leia. She's not going to give it to them because that's giving information to the enemy, obviously. So they're using different tactics to get stuff out of her. but it doesn't work. She's loyal to the rebellion. I'm guessing she's on that side. But no, actually we'll stay on the ship, because after they tried their tactics to get information out of Princess Leia, it didn't work. So then they bring her out, have her meet the main guy, and he's just like, listen, if you don't tell us about these plans or what about the rebellion, we're gonna blow up your home planet. She's conflicted. I remember when you was conflicted. And she eventually gives him a name and just like, hey, the plans are here. It's with this shuttle or whatever. Now, you would think since she's giving out the information, they're just like, okay, thank you so much. They still blew up her planet. In hindsight, I'm not saying they should have blown up her planet, but she did lie. The plans were not there. She did lie. So they would have spared her planet for no reason had they believed her. So I guess, like, you know, but they're mad now. They're just like, she lied to us. Kill her. Like, they're done. So now we're back with the boys. They get onto the Millennium Falcon. I don't know why I can't say that goddamn word. Millennium Falcon. And they have to, like, escape stormtroopers who are trying to take them down. But they do. They're able to get off for some reason. But while they're on the ship, again, in the background, we're with Darth Vader, Princess Leia, and them. They're blowing up a planet. They're trying to get plans from her. So that's happening at the same time while they're on the ship. Obi can feel something in the Force that doesn't feel right. Now, I'm not sure if he can feel the fact that they blew up the planet. I'm not sure if he can feel Darth Vader or what, but he can feel something in the Force. Speaking of Force, Luke is practicing Force stuff on the ship, while Hans is just like, listen, I've been here, I've been there, I've been all around the world, and I don't think there's nothing that I've seen that has made me believe that the Force is real or it's anything like that. Now, to me, obviously, Obi has shown things of the Force to prove that it's real. I saw Darth Vader choke somebody out using the Force. So from what I've seen, I believe that the Force is something that's real, but he doesn't believe in it. So, you know, that's our thing. I think they kind of equate the Force to some kind of religion. So that makes sense in the real world. But Luke is practicing with the Force and stuff, and Obi's trying to help him and being like, concentrate, close your eyes, do this, do that. And he's getting pretty good. So as they're on the ship, they get pulled in by some like gravitational pull towards, I believe it was a space station. I think it was the Death Star. Please don't slaughter me in the comments, but I think it was the Death Star. And then from there, when the ship lands, they're just like, get on that ship and see who's on there. They get on there. The stormtroopers are looking around. They're just like, there's nobody on there. We don't see anybody. And they're just like, okay, I want the entire thing from top to bottom scanned to make sure. When I tell you the stormtroopers suck, they suck so much. They go, they walk around, they do a little bit of this. Oh, there's nobody here. They were under the floorboards the whole time. They were in the ship. What happened to scanning the ship? This all could have been solved. The stormtroopers knew how to do their job. I'm not saying I'm on the Empire or Imperial, whatever the car. I'm not saying I'm on their side. I'm just saying they're making stupid mistakes. The movie probably could have been ended a long time ago. But because they're still on the ship, they lure two stormtroopers in and, you know, pretending that they're other stormtroopers saying like, hey, come in here, check this out. They get them, get their suits, and they end up in the main control room to be able to control everything because the stormtroopers are not smart. So they get into the computer outlet room and they basically have all the controls to be able to plug in to see the whole like Imperial network and be able to control some stuff and see where different things are. Now with that, they find out that, you know, Princess Leia is being held captive somewhere and they're about to kill her. Obi-Wan sees that there's a space that I guess he feels that he needs to go alone to. And yeah, eventually they're going to start splitting up, which, you know, we'll see how this goes.
The Force will be with you. Always.
So once Obi goes alone and the boys find out that Leia is being held captive, Luke is just like, we have to go find her. We have to go save her. Han is just like, this is above my pay grade. This is not what I'm being paid to do. So I'm going to stay right here. Respect, I'm not gonna lie, but Luke is just like, but she's a princess and she's rich and can give you more money, da 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 da. That gets him going.
Rich.
Rich, powerful. Listen, if you were to rescue her, the reward would be...
What?
Well, more wealth than you can imagine.
I don't know. I can imagine quite a bit.
So then they go out to go find her. So again, they pretend to be stormtroopers holding Chewie captive. They have him like those things, cuffs on him, and they're just like, oh, we're trying to take him over here because to hold him captive, whatever. The people who are in the room that they're in are just like, I wasn't told anything about that, so let me look it up. Then they start fighting, pew, 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 with their laser guns, and they make it through. They find Leia locked up, and they're going to save her, but they're stopped by other stormtroopers who realize, hey, you guys aren't real. You're not supposed to be here. Why are you taking her? So then a whole fight starts to ensue. Now, because they recognize that they're intruders, all of the systems that R2-D2 was connected to and C-3PO was trying to manage, it's all been restricted because they know that they're there now. So they're trying to fight them off. They have no way of getting to like a different exit or anything. So they go down to a garbage chute. Not smart. I know it was their only way to kind of get out of Dodge, but the walls start to close in and they're about to be smushed. And again, the systems are all messed up, so they don't have any way that they can kind of stop it. And they're trying to like call C-3PO and just like, please do something. Now, the good thing is R2-D2 and C-3PO, they got past some of the stormtroopers because they're stupid and were able to go to, I think it was like the main level or the mechanic level or something to get into there and actually stop the doors from closing. So they got it just in the nick of time. But again, these stormtroopers, like, how do they have jobs? Also, you know how Obi-Wan sends something on the ship? He's just like, there's something in the Force. Darth Vader feels something like that too. And he's like, I haven't felt this since. And then just walks away. So he senses something too. So I'm guessing that they sense each other. The Force is something between them. So they get out of the garbage chute. They're good there. Of course, another fight ensues, and then they start to separate. So Leia and Luke are together, and then Chewie and Han are together, and they kind of separate to fight their own battles, for the time being at least. All they're trying to do is get back to the ship. They're trying to get back to the ship so they can fly out of there and be good, safe, and sound. But like these stormtroopers are just everywhere, and they're fighting them, and it's crazy. Now, while they're getting back to the ship, Darth Vader and Obi-Wan find each other. And Darth Vader's just like, ooh, it's been so long. It's been so long, but I know if I can end you, the rest of the rebellion is done for. And then they start, this is how I do lightsabers, they start fighting. So something I thought it had my mind going. And I'm sure if the first time you watch this, like when this came out, you might not have thought of this, but Obi-Wan saw Luke, because they're about to get on the ship. He saw Luke, he smiled, he stopped fighting, and then Darth Vader goes to hit him with his lightsaber, and his whole body just disappears. Now, just looking at it, you might be like, oh no, he killed him. But unless the different type of lightsabers do different types of things, like the different colors, I thought that if you get hit with a lightsaber, you just get sliced. Like if someone took a lightsaber to my arm, cut off, I wouldn't fully disappear. So there's something in my mind that's just like, I don't think he is dead, but he himself disappeared somehow. I don't know. Again, this is coming from someone who has never seen the movies. This is what I got. But Luke sees that and screams because he's just like, no, he's dead. No. And that attracts the stormtroopers, of course, and they have to like fight their way to get on the ship. But they did it, and they got on the ship, and they flew out. When they get on the ship, they notice that there are some of the Empire people following them, and Luke and Han have to fight to get them off. And they got them off of them, thank God, and they were able just to go and land where they need to. So they land, Hans gets his money, and he's ready to go. He's just like, this is all that I came here for. I have stuff to pay off, so thank y'all for the ride. I'm glad I was able to help, but I'm done. But the rest of the rebellion have a plan to fight Darth and them. That way they can stop this from once and all. Because the battle is still going. They're still looking for these plans. And if they find these plans, it's donezo for everybody. So they find out that the Death Star is coming. And it's coming to take them down. And they need to devise a plan to destroy it. So this is a whole montage of fighting, of people from the rebellion taking their little ships onto the Death Star. What they need to do is there's a central point that they have to shoot directly in. And if they're able to do that precisely, the whole thing blows up and they're good to go. So there's a lot of people trying, people shooting, blah, 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 blah. There's more stormtroopers and people coming down to fight them off and make sure that they're not able to do it. Darth comes down and he's just like, no, this is not happening. So he's joining in the fight too. And while all this is happening, Luke can hear Obi-Wan talking about the Force and like, trust yourself, da 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 da. So his aura is somewhere. I don't think he's dead, but his aura is somewhere. And also, while, you know, all of the rebellion's being shot down by the stormtroopers and stuff, they're losing numbers, Han comes in to save Luke and save the day. So he comes in, he gets, I think it's Darth Vader in them, like it was Darth and two other people with him. He gets them off of Luke's tail and just like, Luke, I got him, shoot the thing, you got it. And he uses the Force, concentration, whatever it may have you, to shoot in the hole and blow up the Death Star. And then there's a scene where Darth Vader just kind of like drifts off in his ship by himself, but he just drifts away and we don't see where he is. And in the end, Hans and Luke are rewarded. They get medals and they're honored by Princess Leia. And then the movie ends on a good note until the next episode. This movie got a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And let me just preface with, don't beat me up when I say this. What I will say is I genuinely thought I was going to fall asleep during this movie. I thought I wasn't going to like it. I thought I was going to think it was boring. I thought that it just wasn't going to be my cup of tea. But what I will say is I actually enjoyed this movie. I actually like this movie more than I thought that I would. And I was able to sit through it and be awake and be fun. Like, I liked it. What the stormtroopers do pissed me off and made me think that this is stupid. Yes. But in general, I think that this was a good movie. But I will say, for me, para mí, 94% is high. Now, I understand at the time, actually, the graphics and stuff for the time were pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like, of course, you can see, like, some CGI and things like that. But, like, it wasn't really that bad. Like, it was pretty good. So, back then, you know they were hype. So, I don't know. I personally don't think 94, a near perfect score, is it for this movie. But I think that's really just because I'm not into Star Wars like that. So it's just me being biased. But I will agree that it is a good movie. What I also will say is I thought that this was going to be the movie where it's just like, oh, Luke, I am your father. Or we're like, Luke and Leia kiss and find out they're brother and sister, right? That's part of the movies, right? I thought it was going to be that movie, but I guess this is the first Star Wars movie that actually came out, but not in chronological order, just in release order. So I'm just seeing it along with the OGs, you know, and I'm okay with that. Hey, what's up? But again, I do think it's a good movie. I just think 94% is a little high for me. If you are a diehard Star Wars fanatic, that's probably fine. Maybe you even want it higher, and I can understand, but I don't know. I just a little high for me. The lowest I would go is 70s. Don't beat me up. But the lowest I would go is 70s. But I would, if someone said that this was like 80 something percent, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But that's the end of my video, you guys. Thank you again for watching this week. If there's something you agree with, don't agree with, I'm sure there's so many things you guys don't agree with me in this video. You want to see how good I did, or you have any movie suggestions of movies you'd like me to watch in the future, please comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and tell everybody you know about my channel. Like I said, I am reading your guys' requests. I read them on TikTok at Kima's Never Seen It. If people message me on Instagram at Kima's Never Seen It, or on Blue Sky at That's Kima J, or even just the comments on YouTube, I read them all. I have a note of them, and I will eventually get to them. Like I said, there's so many movies that I haven't seen, you guys. And specifically this month, I'm focused on sci-fi movies. So if you've mentioned any sci-fi movies to me, I will work on getting them done this month. But I see them, and I will get to them, I promise. I always want to express my gratitude and appreciation for you tuning in every Thursday, watching me talk about these movies and probably getting mad at me, but you come back and you're here. But if this is your first time seeing me, or you've only seen a couple of my videos and you're just like, maybe she is interesting. Well, go back and check some of my other ones and see how interesting I really am. Maybe you'll like subscribe or get stuck. I don't know. But that's it for this week's video, guys. I will see you guys back next Thursday. Bye.